Throughout the ages, this Bible has held an inexplicable power over the minds and hearts of people, drawing us closer to the mysteries of God's wisdom and revealing profound truths about our human condition. The Bible, this sacred book we hold in our hands, is a repository of incredible narratives that range from the mundane to the miraculous, from the ordinary to the extraordinary. It is within these pages that we encounter real accounts of events that took place that transcend time and culture, real accounts of stories that challenge our intellect and stir our imaginations, real accounts that perplex, intrigue, and inspire us. Indeed, the Bible is unlike any other book. Its stories are not mere fables or legends, but rather they are accounts of real events and encounters that have shaped the course of history. It is a tapestry of divine revelation woven together by different authors over thousands of years, yet interconnected in ways that reveal the hand of a divine author orchestrating a grand narrative. Within these pages, we find stories of creation and the fall, of heroism and treachery, of miracles and prophecies. We encounter ordinary individuals who, through their unwavering faith, become vessels of God's extraordinary power. We witness the rise and fall of kingdoms, the struggles of prophets, the triumphs and failures of humanity in its relentless pursuit of righteousness. It is quite a remarkable thing when God said to Moses, "I want you to write me a book." But what sets these stories apart is their ability to transcend time and culture. The Bible speaks to the hearts of people from every generation and every corner of the world. Its messages of love, forgiveness, and redemption resonate with the deepest longings and aspirations of the human soul. It is in the strangeness and peculiarity of these real accounts that we often find the most profound and enduring lessons. From the parting of the Red Sea to the virgin birth, from the walls of Jericho tumbling down to the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the Bible presents us with accounts that defy human comprehension, stretching the limits of our understanding and inviting us to embrace the divine mystery, that there is an almighty, eternal God. Within Scripture, we see various locations spoken of where evil dwells. Today, we are going to examine these locations. The abyss. Within these pages, we find references to the abyss, a place of profound significance in Christian teachings. As we embark on this journey of understanding, let us delve into the depths of Scripture to unravel the meaning and implications of the abyss. The abyss as the abode of evil spirits. In both the Old and New Testaments, the abyss is frequently associated with the dwelling place of evil spirits. It serves to the realm of darkness and spiritual oppression. The abyss is portrayed as a deep, bottomless pit, evoking imagery of profound emptiness and despair. In Luke chapter 8, we encounter a gripping encounter where Jesus casts out a legion of demons from a possessed man. Notably, these demons beg Jesus repeatedly not to send them into the abyss, revealing the significance and fear associated with this place. The abyss is clearly a place that evil spirits do not want to go. Luke chapter 8, verses 26 through 33. Then they sailed to the country of the Gadarenes, which is opposite Galilee. And when he stepped out on the land, there met him a certain man from the city who had demons for a long time. And he wore no clothes, nor did he live in a house, but in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out, fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For it had often seized him, and he was kept under guard, bound with chains and shackles. And he broke the bonds and was driven by the demon into the wilderness. Jesus asked him, saying, "What is your name?" And he said, "Legion," because many demons had entered him, and they begged him that he would not command them to go out into the abyss. Now a herd of many swine was feeding there on the mountain. So they begged him that he would permit them to enter them. And he permitted them. Then the demons went out of the man and entered the swine, and the herd ran violently down the steep place into the lake and drowned. In Luke chapter 8, we witness Jesus encountering a man possessed by a legion of demons. This legion, consisting of numerous evil spirits, had tormented the man for a long time. When Jesus arrives, the demon recognize his authority and power, and they tremble in fear. They beg Jesus not to send them into the abyss, pleading for mercy in the face of impending judgment. In the book of Revelation, on 3 separate chapters, we see the abyss, also known as the bottomless pit, as being the abode of evil spirits, or prison for evil spirits. Revelation chapter 9, verses 1 through 3. Then the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fallen from heaven to the earth. To him was given the key to the bottomless pit, and he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like the smoke of a great furnace. So the sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. Then out of the smoke locusts came upon the earth, and to them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. Revelations chapter 9, verse 11. And they had as king over them the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in Greek he has the name Apollyon. Revelation chapter 11, verse 7. When they finish their testimony, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit will make war against them, overcome them, and kill them. Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 through 3. Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. He laid hold of the dragon, that serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. He cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal on him, so that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things, he must be released for a little while. In Revelation chapter 9, the Apostle John witnesses the opening of the bottomless pit, a moment of immense significance. It reveals a dimension beyond our comprehension, where profound mysteries and strange phenomena dwell. As the bottomless pit is opened, strange creatures emerge, described with vivid and awe-inspiring imagery. These creatures possess characteristics that defy our understanding of the natural world, with fearsome appearances and supernatural abilities. Their existence challenges our limited perception of creation, reminding us that there are realms beyond our earthly realm that are teeming with wonders and mysteries, and that there are creatures that are strange and unusual. On this point, I would like to introduce you to Tartarus and the bottomless pit are sometimes associated together. One of the Greek words translated, quote, hell in the English versions is Tartarus. Tartarus is a rarely mentioned term in the New Testament that sparks curiosity and intrigue. Found only once in the entire New Testament, specifically in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, Tartarus holds a unique place in biblical teachings. The mention of Tartarus in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment. In 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, the Apostle Peter makes a reference to Tartarus, stating that God did not spare the angels who sinned, but cast them down to Tartarus, delivering them into chains of darkness to be reserved for judgment. This passage alludes to a specific realm or state of confinement for fallen angels who rebelled against God's authority and committed grave sins. Tartarus in Greek mythology. To fully grasp the biblical understanding of Tartarus, it is essential to acknowledge its connection with Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, Tartarus was regarded as a deep abyss, serving as a place of punishment for the wicked and a realm where titans and other rebellious beings were confined. However, it is crucial to note that the biblical concept of Tartarus diverges from the mythological Greek understanding. The mention of Tartarus in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4 provides a glimpse into the biblical understandings of this place as the confinement for certain sinful angels. To further explore this concept, it is essential to consider other passages of Scripture that shed light on the actions and consequences of these fallen beings. One such passage is found in Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 4, where we encounter the account of the, quote, sons of God who took control of human women and produced offspring. In Genesis chapter 6, we read of a time when fallen angels, referred to as, quote, the sons of God, engaged in illicit relationships with human women. This transgression was a severe violation of divine order and purpose. Their actions corrupted the human gene pool and brought about wickedness on the earth. This union resulted in a generation known as the NEPHILIM, who were renowned for their strength and ungodly behavior. While the Bible provides limited information about the NEPHILIM, the subject has given rise to various legends and non-biblical writings that depict them as a race of giants and superheroes who committed acts of great evil. In the biblical account, the NEPHILIM are described as, quote, heroes and, quote, famous warriors of ancient times or powerful men of old. The precise nature and origin of the NEPHILIM are not explicitly detailed in the Bible, leaving room for interpretation and speculation. However, it is important to distinguish between the biblical account and non-biblical writings that have contributed to the NEPHILIM's reputation as a distinct race of giants. According to the Book of Enoch and other non-biblical sources, the NEPHILIM are portrayed as offspring resulting from the union between fallen angels, the, quote, sons of God, and human women. These accounts attribute supernatural abilities and great evil to the NEPHILIM, painting them as a unique and malevolent race that wreaked havoc on the earth. However, it is crucial to note that these sources are not part of the biblical canon and should be approached with caution. While the Bible does not explicitly confirm or deny the legends surrounding the NEPHILIM, it is essential to focus on the biblical account itself. The biblical text portrays the NEPHILIM as renowned figures of the ancient world, highlighting their strength, influence, and reputation. The mention of, quote, sons of God in Genesis chapter 6, verse 2 has led to various interpretations, with some suggesting they were fallen angels who left their proper place in the heavens to pursue immoral relationships with humans. This understanding aligns with the concept mentioned in Jude chapter 1, verse 6, which states that certain angels, quote, did not keep their own position but abandoned their proper dwelling. The gravity of the angels' transgressions in both Genesis and Jude led to God's judgment upon them. These fallen angels were not merely left to roam freely, but God cast them into Tartarus, described as, quote, pits of gloom. Tartarus, as depicted here, symbolizes a place of confinement and punishment reserved for these rebellious spiritual beings. It signifies the just consequences for their heinous acts and serves as a testament to God's righteous judgment. Some scholars believe that the abyss and Tartarus are connected, or even could be the same place with different names or different sections. Exercising humility and openness is advisable when considering topics that receive limited attention in the Bible and hold lesser theological significance in the broader context. The mention of, quote, pits of gloom implies a state of darkness and despair, emphasizing the severity of their punishment. It indicates their separation from the light of God's presence and the consequences of their rebellion against divine order. The confinement in Tartarus not only serves as punishment for their crime, but also as a means of protecting humanity from their destructive influence. The mention of Tartarus and the sinful angels provides us with insights into the spiritual realm and the consequences of rebellion against God. It reminds us of the seriousness of sin, even among spiritual beings, and the necessity of divine justice. It serves as a sobering reminder that God's righteousness prevails and all actions have corresponding consequences. As believers, we can draw several lessons from the account of Tartarus and the confinement of sinful angels. Firstly, it prompts us to recognize the reality of spiritual warfare and the existence of spiritual beings who oppose God's purpose. Secondly, it underscores the importance of obedience to God's commands and the dangers of forsaking our proper dwelling. Lastly, it reassures us of God's sovereignty and justice, affirming that He will hold all beings accountable for their actions. Allow me to repeat this last statement. Lastly, it reassures us of God's sovereignty and justice, affirming that He will hold all beings accountable for their actions.